With Princess Kate and King Charles battling cancer, the monarchy has never felt more fragile. Trooping the color brought a hugely welcome appearance, but does the royal family need a deeper bench? When King Charles was crowned just over a year ago, nobody, not even the king himself, could have predicted the first year of his reign would play out as it has. Just 9 months after his coronation, watched by some 400 million people around the world, in a coincidence as bizarre as it was unprecedented, the monarch and his beloved daughter-in-law the Princess of Wales were both admitted to the same London hospital within days of one another. And then the 1-2 punch of why, despite initial assurances that neither condition was believed to be cancerous, the palace announced that Charles had in fact been diagnosed with cancer, and after several weeks of brutal speculation and online conspiracy theories, Kate had too. Hello and welcome to Royal Scandal. Please do well to like, subscribe, comment and turn on the notification bell so as not to miss out on any news updates. The earlier hospitalization announcements, released to the public just hours apart, were only part of what would eventually come out. Where the king was concerned, the palace did not specify which type of cancer, only that it was not prostate, and explained that the monarch would take a break from public engagements while he received outpatient treatment. The princess's situation seemed different from the outset. At first, the public learned that she'd spend up to 2 weeks at the London clinic after undergoing planned major abdominal surgery and would return to her duties around Easter. Pressed, the palace announced the unspecified condition was non-cancerous, but while she was recovering, Princess Kate received the shocking news that she too had cancer. It was a defining moment in royal history. With both the King and the Princess of Wales temporarily out of action, Prince William announced he would be taking time off to look after his wife and their young family. The palace, keen to play down any sense of panic, called the apparent crisis a blip, insisting the king was upbeat about his prognosis and would return to work as soon as he was given the green light by his medical team. With Kate, there was less guidance as to when the princess would return to public duties. For once, the palace did not have a game plan. This was not a public scandal or a crisis like an abdication. Nevertheless, it forced a rethink for Charles in terms of his slimmed-down monarchy and how best to serve the people. The mighty House of Windsor, which not long ago had the world's longest reigning monarch at its helm, suddenly seemed very vulnerable. While the king was supported by other family members who ensured the wheels kept turning, the absence of William and Kate was notable. Without Catherine, it all seems rather flat. The future of the monarchy is William and Catherine, says Patrick Jeffson, the former private secretary to Diana, Princess of Wales. And, as we know from any superficial study of the British royal family, it's the women who pull the show together, who get out there and make things happen. So how fragile is the monarchy? Well, it's as fragile as Catherine is, and at the moment, we don't know. Princess Kate attended Trooping the Colour, the king's official birthday parade, on June 15, with only a day's notice, a reminder of her inner strength and popular import. Having turned a corner, says a source close to the princess, in her treatment, she felt well enough to ride in a carriage with her 3 children and stand alongside the king on the balcony. In a message on social media, the princess also gave a rare health update, sharing that she is still undergoing preventative chemotherapy and is making good progress, but that she is not out of the woods, noting she has good days and bad days. The palace took pains to stress that Kate's appearance at Trooping the Colour did not signal a return to full-time work, but that she hopes to attend a handful of engagements over the summer. It was a glimmer of uplift in what has been an incredibly challenging year for the royal family. The intense public emotion that greeted Catherine's brave appearance at Trooping underlined her crucial importance to the monarchy, says Jeffson. Without her, the institution would surely be reduced to a shadow of itself. Given the Windsor's drastically thinned ranks, she is the crown's best hope by far. She combines duty and beauty with a piercing vulnerability second only to Prince William's mother. The late Queen Elizabeth had reigned for 4 decades before her infamous Annus Horribilis in 1992, when 3 of her children's marriages fell apart and Windsor Castle caught fire. With this year, there has been a sense of foreboding that Charles's Annus Infandus has come much too soon. Having acceded to the throne at the age of 73, the oldest monarch in history to do so, The big question was whether he would be able to finish the work he had waited decades to start and seemed impatient to get on with. As well as the cornerstones of his life's work, which include conservation and sustainability, Charles has earmarked the early years of his reign to reshape the royal household, shake up the royal residences, and future-proof the monarchy. According to sources close to the king, who recently announced plans to open more royal palaces to the public, he has been frustrated that his health problems are holding him up. Meanwhile, Kate's cancer diagnosis has come as an even bigger shock. The 42-year-old mother was just hitting her stride as the new Princess of Wales, working in her field of early childhood development and looking forward to a busy schedule of engagements and overseas tours with William, when her life was turned upside down. As she and her husband and their immediate families came to terms with the devastating news, no one beyond the Middletons and the King and Queen were told about Kate's cancer. At first they worked out how to tell their 3 children. According to an aide, Kate was determined to be honest with them and told them in a way they could understand. With 3 key players out of action, the royal family relied on the 73-year-old and Princess Royal, and the Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh, Prince Edward and his wife, Sophie. But it felt like the monarchy was running out of star power. There was talk of dusting off the Regency Act. It's invoked when the heir is required to stand in for the monarch if they are incapacitated, but because the king continued his state duties, including weekly sessions with Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, Privy Council meetings, and official correspondence, there was no need to do so. William took a break from engagements to care for his wife and their young children, leaving the lion's share of the workload to Queen Camilla, who stood in for the king on Commonwealth Day at Westminster Abbey and travelled around the UK on official engagements. If she was feeling the strain, she didn't show it, rising to the occasion with professionalism and grace. It was an extraordinary moment. Camilla, who had once cast doubt on the future of the monarchy as the mistress blamed for the breakdown of Charles and Diana's marriage, was now the person keeping the royal show on the road. According to Lothar Pinkerton, the Wales's marriage is stronger than ever, built on a foundation of friendship and love. These are 2 people who really know each other. The strength of their marriage can't be overstated. They have created the most normal life for their children they can, says an aide. They take the children to school and then they're out on engagements up and down the country, which they relish and enjoy. They are really driven by creating legacy and impact through the work they do. The cornerstones of their work include their charity, the Royal Foundation, the princess's early years' work, and William's earthshot. The prince is now overseeing the Duchy of Cornwall and is, according to the aide, very much in the driving seat. And contrary to reports, she may not return to full-time duties. According to aides, the princess will pick up where she left off as soon as she is well enough. As for the future, the prospect of one day being queen doesn't faze her, even in this moment of vulnerability. It doesn't worry her or keep her awake at night, says a friend. She just wants her kids to be a bit older before she has to step up to the big job. The fact is, she was born for the job, it's almost ingrained in her. They've had a master class in preparation, says Lothar Pinkerton. They have always been careful not to rush fences and to make sure they got each phase of their life right, and then build on that. They've been able to have some space and time as a couple and as a family, and do the things that are important to them before having to devote themselves entirely to the nation and the British people. When the moment comes, and let's hope it's later rather than sooner, they will be more than ready. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe.